There are only two universal truths that go beyond religion and race. We are all going to die, and companies want to maximize profit. This last one is one of the most basic and simple lessons that comes in every economic or management book. It's a so simple and universal lesson, accepted by all, that immediately becomes truth and, of course, common sense. Although it became common sense, many companies seem to not fully understand what it means and don't seem to take the time to act according it. For many, it's the culture of sales that prevails, the object of adoration and slavery for managers. But how can my company maximize its profit? What can I do as a manager to maximize profit and make more money? That's the doubt in many managers' mind, a doubt that haunts their dreams and keeps them awake at night. Of course, I'm making it a little bit more dramatic, but you understand my point. Okay, let's go. Let's break it down. First, can you tell me what is profit? Profit is the excess, the surplus, the one that remains. It's that thing that remains from what I receive from my clients after paying out all the costs associated to provide that good or service to those clients. You can imagine it with chocolate cake. If my clients decide to pay me in chocolate cake, I receive a cake. But before having my piece of cake, I have to give a slice to the suppliers that sold me the raw materials. I have to give a slice to the workers that work with us. Another extra slice goes to the banks that lend me the money to do it. And finally, I'll have to share a slice of my cake with the government to whom I pay taxes. So, just in the end of handing over all these slices, I will understand how much cake do I still have. That's my profit. And it's easier to understand now, right? All becomes better with chocolate cake. So, this is profit. And how do we calculate profit? Simple. Profit equals to revenues minus expenses or costs. And if you remember correctly, companies want to maximize profit. So, if profit is equal to revenues minus costs, what this actually means is that companies want to maximize revenues and minimize costs. We are reaching somewhere, right? Now we have our target, our only goal: maximize revenues and minimize costs. So what you're saying is that we should do everything at our reach to maximize revenues at any cost, and do everything at our reach to minimize costs, right? Not that simple. We need a smoother approach than that. Because if we do everything at our reach to maximize revenue, we will probably increase also costs. And if we do everything at our reach to minimize costs, we will most probably decrease also our revenues. So we must find a balance, and that's the challenge. That's what makes it a pain in the ass for many managers, because the challenge is to find the right balance between revenues and costs that makes its difference the higher possible. What does this represent? Our dear profit. And don't mistake it with profit. It's a similar word, but doesn't come with promises of paradise or of a better world for all, unfortunately. What should I do then? How do I know I have reached that optimal point and balance? Good question. Without going so deep into the mathematical fundamentals behind, let me tell you that what you should do is to realize all the actions that allow you to make more money, increasing revenues, then the money that you will need to spend to undergo with those actions. Meaning that costs are increasing, but increasing less than the revenue increase. Confusing, right? Stay with me, in the end will look simpler. In economy, we call it the point of equilibrium, or the point of optimal production. A point where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost, making profit in that point equal to zero. Weird, right? What this actually means is that you should do all the additional actions possible until the profit of doing that additional action, or producing that additional unit, is equal to zero. And why? Because if it's higher than zero, you will do it, because you will increase your profit and you want to do it. However, in the other hand, if it's lower than zero, you would retrocede and do less, until we reach the point where the revenue of doing an additional action equals the cost of doing that additional action, meaning that incremental profit is zero. Now, it's not only weird but confusing, right? Okay, let me take out my economist hat and explain you in a common sense language. Imagine we can do something more. Let's call it Z. and Z will let you earn an extra 100 euros. If doing Z costs you 20 euros, will you do it? Yes, because you will have an extra profit of 80 euros. And now Z costs 50 euros. Will you do it? Yes. And for 80. And for 99. Yes and yes. You will always do it until the point where doing Z costs exactly the same extra amount of money that you will get from doing Z. In that case, it will be 100 euros. Remembering your first question, what should I do then? You should do everything that allows you to make more money than the money that it costs to do those things. For example, if making advertisements leads you to make more money than it costs, yes, you should do it. If it gives you more money than the money that you spend with that, you should do it.